Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for your second video of the day. Chelsea news is relatively slow. We've got Mason Mount finally being announced as a Manchester United player. If you want to hear my thoughts on what I thought about that goodbye video, go and check the video that I posted earlier on today. In this video, I want to answer the question, or maybe even pose the question and start to give answers to, is Mauricio Pochettino actually different? And what I mean by that is I'm going to try and answer the almost impossible task question, which is Pochettino gonna be that manager that stays at Chelsea for a while, is successful, and do we have to adjust what the word successful and what the actions that equal success are based on the current Premier League? I've actually brought Mason the dog with me, and he has just started. I'm not going to show you yet because it's kind of gross, but there he is over there. He was just doing a little you know what on the floor, so we're going to leave him to it, take him on a little walk. I like these walking talking videos. If you do too, hit the like button on the video and subscribe to GBFC if you are new. So Pochettino, is he different? First of all, the interview. I've already talked about the interview, but I think what the interview shows us is a man who is actually at a point in his career where he's been successful. He's been successful to the point where to even be considered as the manager of Chelsea Football Club, you need to have done something to ever warrant Chelsea being the topic of conversation. Mason, come boy. Come here, Mason. I know you can also say, well, he didn't win anything at Spurs, won the league at PSG, and then didn't win the league at PSG, didn't win the Champions League at PSG. So is that a success? Well, yeah, if you win a major trophy in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, that is successful. At Tottenham, it's impossible to be successful. Look at Mourinho, look at Conte, Pochettino as well. Didn't win anything there. No one's ever going to. That's just the harsh reality of the situation. Even Graham Potter. I know that people will say, well, how can you say that even being in contention to be a Chelsea manager makes you successful? Graham Potter was a manager that Chelsea looked at and thought, this guy has a bit about him in the sense of he takes teams that aren't doing well or could be doing better and gets them to a point where he elevates them through his management style, through the results that you see with league positions and performances. So Graham Potter is a successful manager, but in the context of Chelsea, the success that he had before was not on par with the level and the standards that a club like Chelsea require and expect. And when you think about the way that Poch talks in his interview, there's also a really great long form interview where he talks about how throughout his career there have been influences that he's had, such as during his playing days, Marcelo Bielsa was incredibly heavy on him, saying that if he wanted to better his career, he was going to have to do this instead of doing that. And when you're a young footballer, sometimes harsh advice can send you one way or the other. It can make you determined, it can make you knuckle down, get your head down and work and improve yourself, or it can be the opposite, where you think you know best, you don't want to change anything, and in the end, are you like a malleable piece of metal that is going to bend into something improving something, or are you just going to stay the same? With Pochettino as a manager, I feel as though his time at Chelsea couldn't have come at a better time. I think when you think about PSG, Tottenham, during all of this process, Chelsea was still winning things. Chelsea was still winning Premier Leagues when Pochettino was at Spurs. Chelsea were winning Champions Leagues when Pochettino was at Paris Saint-Germain. And in the process of all of this, Pochettino has been out of a job for a bit and he's looked on the market. Chelsea have gone through Tuchel, Lampard, Potter in one season. And when you look now, especially myself, I said Pochettino was probably my third choice manager when the shortlist of new Chelsea managers were outlined. I liked Enrique. Part of me liked the glitz and the glamour idea of Zinedine Zidane, but realistically, it was never going to be something. Mason's having a whale of a time over here, bud. It was never going to be something that would have longevity. It was never going to be something that would fit the mold or the supposed mold of sustainable growth that we have heard so many times from these new owners, that is the way they want to run Chelsea moving forward. And I think a success this season, to not make a prediction, but to give what I think would be a big success, Chelsea might not get Champions League football because it is so competitive, which again, that is why I talk about reinventing potentially the idea of success, but at the same time, you can't make an excuse about what does success mean Because if you don't get Champions League, which is where Chelsea have been, it's how Chelsea have been in a position to spend the money we've been spending because we've made so much of it and we've won the competition twice. Success has to be getting back into the Champions League this season. If Chelsea don't get Champions League football off the back of this season, do you think, let me know in the comments, does Pochettino keep his job? And I will say now, it depends entirely on where we are positioned, and it can't be 12th in the Premier League again, and just how far away we are. Has there been a moment of capitulation during the season where Chelsea don't win a game for 8 matches? We don't score a goal for 7, 8 matches, which is what we have seen at times this season. Mason, come here. Look at him. Absolute terror. Blimey O'Reilly. Good boy. We do like to see that, don't we? Chelsea's success next season will also be based on the cups. I want to see, with the squad that we've got, with the young players that we've got, we need to be trying to go to the cup final again. Carabao Cup final, FA Cup final. Chelsea need to be competing in these competitions and trying to go as far as we can. Again, last year, just to not put papering over the cracks here, but we drew Man City in both domestic cups. That is pretty much an impossible task. But, again, Pochettino, the impossible task is, Pochettino, can he stop Guardiola's Man City? Can Arteta stop him? Can Klopp stop him? Can Ten Hag stop him? Can Eddie Howe stop him? So, when we talk about the idea of success, Chelsea have just got to be competitive again. And also, looking at those ideas of sustainable growth, having a manager, sticking with a manager, allowing a dynasty. I've said it so many times and I've been let down so many times, so I find it so hard to say it with any confidence. But that is what I think this new ownership wants. That, in my opinion, is the way that Chelsea sustainably achieves success over a long period of time. And the prime examples of this are Klopp and Guardiola. Liverpool and Man City have been battling it out in Europe at the top of the Premier League now for a while. Arsenal, Arteta. Arsenal stuck with Arteta when things weren't going well, and last year they got so close, but Man City. I'm not even going to say Arsenal bottled it. Some may think so. I personally think, yeah, they did. If you look at the points they dropped, but at the same time, City just keep going. And I think with Chelsea, Pochettino, it's going to be hard to judge him differently because we said we were going to give Potter the time. We said we were going to treat Graham Potter differently because we thought that's where it was going. And as the season started to just get deeper and deeper into the abyss, into a hole of just unimaginable failure, we were like, it's going to turn around. We beat Dortmund. It's going to turn around. It never turned around. That is the truth of the matter. And I think with Poch, it's at a point now where if Pochettino doesn't work, is it just Chelsea? Are the players that we've been spending money on just not as good as we think they are? And I think that is something that we might have to just accept if this doesn't go well. We can love Enzo, we can love Reece, we can love Chile, we can love Levi Colwill. But if Chelsea aren't competitive at the top of the Premier League, then I think this season is the one with a new manager, as good as Pochettino is at working with young players, moulding a team into something new, moulding them into something different than what has been a failure this season just gone. If we don't succeed in that process, then where are Chelsea in the English top football pyramid hierarchy? We have to establish that the teams above us have just got it right and we've got it wrong. I don't think that's going to happen though, because I do think Pochettino is different. And I bring it back to that interview again, and I saw the video that I posted straight after that interview, and I thought, I don't really think I did it justice, didn't cover enough of the interview. But overall, it's one thing saying, well, that's what we wanted to hear. But to genuinely believe that a manager, when you look at all the things he's done up until this point, when you look at the state of the club previously, the state of the club now, the signings we're making, the additions we're making, and the great young players that we've got at our disposal, I think this is a match made in heaven for Chelsea Football Club. And that's what Pochettino has done in one interview and a bit of rational time that I have spent thinking, am I still unhappy that he used to manage Spurs and he's never really won anything major? Mason, come here! Is it one of those managers who, when he sits down, looks at Lee Parker, talks to the camera, talks to us, and you just think, well, yeah, you deserve to be a Chelsea manager. And I genuinely think you see yourself here for a while. You've got a plan, you've got a vision, now let's see you execute it. And I personally believe Mauricio Pochettino could be that guy. And I don't just want to say that and you guys will be like, but you thought that about Graham Potter, you thought Tuchel was the holy one. Well, he was for a bit, all right? And it's pre-season now. We got Wrexham in a couple of weeks, got more pre-season games. Liverpool at home, first game of the season. If you're not following the Telegram, giving away 2 tickets to Chelsea versus Liverpool. Go and check that out. Link in the top of the description. Make sure you're following the Telegram page and you will be there with me. Well, not with me, but I'll also be at the game. I'm buzzing for Poch's reign. We have got so many good quality young players. And we had that last season too, but Potter wasn't the guy. Potter didn't have that right. This is the way it's going to be. This is what we do. We work together, we build together, we grow together, and we win together. And that is everything that Pochettino said. Now, is he actually different? We are going to see, because football is based on results. And that was one of the final things he said in that interview. And realistically, when we revisit this video in a year, 2 years, 5 years time from now, hopefully I'm still making Chelsea videos, then we will know if he was actually different. But I think he really could be. And I do think Chelsea, if we can get Champions League football this season, at a minimum, good cup run as well, that is success in my eyes. To go from 12th back into the top tier of European football would be massive. And it would allow Chelsea to keep growing, keep spending on the future. But I think there is enough in this squad to do it this season. I really do. If we are managed properly, and like Pochettino says, everyone is together, then this team can achieve brilliant things, because there is talent there, plenty of it. But anyway, tomorrow morning, early morning news video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the like if you enjoy these little walking, talking videos. There is the boy wonder, Mr. Mason. Oi, Mason, come here. Good boy. Yes, and I'll show you what was behind me the whole time. Look at this. Stormy Daniels over here. We do love a bit of that. But anyway, I'm going to walk back home. I'm going to post this video for you lot. If you do enjoy the walking, talking, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This is kind of like my semi-predictions for Poch's first season, / kind of what I hope to happen, but what I think will happen. So let me know your early predictions before the rest of the signings are done, before we see pre-season, before we see half the Premier League season. Let me know what you feel now. This has been my video to talk to you about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Come on, you Blues.